Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. Glad you stayed with us tonight because now we're going to be able to talk with John Kanda of Connected. And John's going to tell us about the good work that we're doing in Portland, trying to keep our streets safe. Nice to have you here tonight, John.
Thanks for the invitation.
John, you are the founder and co-chair of Connected.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about it, what your mission is and what it is you do.
So Connected started April 27th of 2011. After that young man, 14-year-old Shiloh Hampton, was unfortunately gunned down in broad daylight in between 12th and 13th on Multnomah Street, Northeast Multnomah. He was a freshman at Madison High School, and I and some others who were involved in Connected had been doing gang outreach work for many, many years,
right, since
the mid-'80s. And so this wasn't a stretch for us, but after that homicide, you know, I was extremely frustrated, as well as I know other people were. So I just put a message out on my Facebook page and said, look, you know, enough's enough. Mm-hmm. Those of you who are as frustrated as I am with the senseless youth and gang violence, you know, show yourself, come forward, you know, raise your hand, and let's talk about it.
Shiloh was so young,
14 years old,
and in broad daylight. It's like, how do those things happen? I mean, it's really scary, and you don't want your kids or anybody else to be scared to walk the streets or go to the parks or anything else. So,
right.
What have you done? What is it? You got some people obviously that were interested and came together.
Right.
And what do you do? So
every Friday, we decided that we didn't want to have a series of meetings to make some long strategic plan. We said, look, we want to be boots on the ground and we want to do something immediately. And what better thing could we do than to go to the place where the incident happened, because we knew that youth would continue to gather there, as they do. So every Friday, we have two walking groups. The first starts at 4:30 p.m., the second at 6 p.m. And they are citizens. We have a board of directors. It's a working board, so we're all out there. There are 9 of us. And then we've recruited citizens from around Portland. And some people are outside of Multnomah County even that have heard about us from Clackamas County. And they've come out and we walked the park to specifically engage young people.
And which park is this?
This is Holiday Park.
It's Holiday Park, okay.
Just south of the Lloyd Center.
Right.
And we talk to kids. We love on kids. We encourage kids. We listen to their stories. And if the greetings, first of all, we smile and we greet them. If the greetings turn into more like, hey, so I see you have Connected shirts on. What's Connected? Glad you asked. We have time to pull them aside and engage and talk to them about that. And what usually happens from there is they say, either, I had some issues with that kind of stuff, or I have a friend, or I have a relative. And it's a longer conversation. That's what we're trying to do.
Good. Now I see you've got your Connected shirt here. Show us the shirt here. All the volunteers wear these?
All the volunteers wear these shirts.
We care. Okay, so.
And on the back it says,
walk with us,
talk with us.
That's great. So this identifies the volunteers to the public.
That's right.
If you're wearing that shirt, you know that these guys are okay.
That's right.
And tell me the demographics of the group. Men, women, ages, is it all over the place?
Glad you asked that. And yes, it is. I mean, originally my call was to 100 men in the community, because ladies are always there. If you look at the relationships of all of the young people that I've worked with over the past 26 years, 99.5% of the time, there's a mother, there's a grandmother, there's an aunt, there's a cousin, there's someone or extended family member who is female that they have close relationships with.
Often raising that child alone.
That's right.
Yeah.
The men, I just have to say honestly, I stood on the corner on MLK and Killingsworth in 2009 with a big sign that said, "Where are the fathers?" That's kind of what started this movement for me. And we have a hard time in many cases showing up. Now that's not to say that men aren't present and fathers aren't present. They are, we are. Many of them have their head down, they're working hard, and they're raising and trying to support their families. But in many cases, we're not present. So the call went out to the men, women, children, youth, showed up. So we have probably, we have male and female from ages 19 to 70 that are walking with us.
That's great.
And it's wonderful.
Tell me how this works, John. So say I wanted to participate in this. I wanted to be part of Connected, but I have only one weekend a month I can do that. Is that okay?
It is absolutely fine. We ask or let people know that if they want to come out and walk, they can walk for any length of time. They don't have to walk from 4:30 to 6 to 7. If you have 15 minutes and you're in the area, you meet us at the corner of 13th and Multnomah on Fridays, and we'll be there to greet you. We'll have a meet and greet, and you walk with us around the park as we engage young people.
That's great. So in these pictures we're looking at, these are people from Connected that are out doing just that.
That's right. These are actually that photo, the person on the far left, I don't know how it's showing on the television, but is Roy Washington. That is actually the father of Shiloh Hampton, who was killed, and so he's out there, and he's been he's been a long time advocate for youth.
Oh wow, wow.
Mayor Sam Adams.
You got the mayor out there?
Yeah, he's out there. They support what we do.
Good.
Loretta Smith, County Commissioner Loretta Smith. Those are two of our board members, Rob Richardson on the left and Sam Sachs on the right. These ladies are so faithful.
They look like they're having fun out there.
They do. They have the ability to absolutely change an atmosphere, and it works.
Lighten it up a bit, huh?
They do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Tom Peavy from the City of Portland Office of Youth Violence Prevention, and Mary Tompkins, who's the City of Portland Crime Prevention Specialist. Yeah, there's a look at, so you can see some of the demographic.
Yes.
You know, the ladies, the older ladies especially, just have that mother and grandmother-like way about them that absolutely transform the attitudes and can transform an area at any time.
I believe it. Well, and there's respect for the for the older women. You know, there is, and it's
absolutely. Because of the relationships that I mentioned earlier about most of the young men and women having relationships with females all of their lives, whereas a confrontation may be looked at male to male from me, they have the ability to just walk in front and say, "Listen, baby, let me just talk to you," and it just melts.
That's great.
It just melts
That's
people.
Great. Yeah. What is this? Is that your area?
That's our area. Yeah. That is significant. The map was.
Can we go back to that map? I don't know if they can.
Didn't put the other map on there, but the first one was red, and it showed the area around Holiday Park and Lloyd Center.
Okay, and there's the green one.
And that's the green one. But the red one was significant because 3 months before we went into the park, that whole area was red, which meant that Part 1 crimes, person-to-person crimes, were up in that area. This is 3 months after we hit this area, and all of that red went away.
Oh, okay.
Green is good. That means that crime has been reduced, the Portland Police data says by 27% in that park and in that area because of our presence.
Which is significant.
Which is significant.
If you were able to get, I mean, you must have had a birthday recently. Was what, April you said you started?
April 27th, so that was our 1-year birthday this year.
Nice. So tell me about, this is, where connected are you? You need more people out there.
That's
right. If you got more people, if you had this huge surge of people that came and joined Connected, would you eventually add more days to Holiday Park? Would you start doing other parks?
I think we do both. You know, my goal from the beginning was if we got a significant number, 50 or more people walking on a Friday, that we would look at the data around the area or other areas. We're open to that, and partner with the local residents in the area. In my opinion, you know, this isn't a foot patrol. There are traditional foot patrols. The crime prevention staff train people. We specifically said, well, we want to engage people. We want to go a little bit further than just observing and reporting.
Right. We don't want to just look for the bad things.
No,
we want to.
That's right.
Yeah,
we want to develop some relationships. So yes, to answer the question shortly, we would look at other areas. We'd look at increasing the amount of time that we spent in Holiday Park. When I testified before the county commissioners, I said, look, there's no reason why Connected could not be in every park in Multnomah County with the local people in those areas. We'll show them how to do it. We'll talk to them about the research, and set them free in those areas, and there'd just be different chapters of Connected.
It's kind of almost like a neighborhood watch team, but better because of the engagement factor.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think that's great. It would be wonderful to be able to have it all through the city. It would be a super way to do things. So if people want to become involved, do they just need to call you, go to your website? What's the best way to get involved? Or just show up at?
Couple of ways. They can show up on Fridays at 4:30 or 6 o'clock and meet us and talk with us, and we can talk about their intentions. We're developing our website. We have a Facebook page, so they can go to Connected on Facebook and send us a message, or they can call our number that we have, and either of those three ways.
Good. So if they come out there and walk with you, you'll just be giving them a little on-the-job training as you're walking around on what you're doing.
That's right. We'll hand them brochures so they can see a little bit about our history. The board members, our faces and email address are on the back. And so, yeah, we'll walk and talk just at the back of our shirt side.
Good deal. So, John, tell me, how did you get involved in this? Did you have a background somehow that drew you to this kind of work, or you just fall into it?
You know, it was kind of a gifting and a passion for me. I was a security policeman in the Air Force, stationed in Mountain Home, Idaho. So I did some police work. When I got out of the military, came back to Portland, I got involved in street outreach work with the Northeast Coalition of Neighborhoods. And from 1989 to now, and as far as I can see in the future, youth engagement and youth advocacy are and have been a passion and a calling for me. So I was not personally involved in a gang or necessarily youth violence, but close to it, close enough to it that I knew I wanted to do something about it. It was part of your life
peripherally, if nothing else.
That's right.
What about, tell me about the people that you've met. Can you give me any instances of any altercations that have come up that you've been able to overcome, or situations where you really felt like you've made a difference with Connected?
There have been a couple of altercations. One time there were a group of young men who we saw kind of forming across the street from each other. We recognized the remarks and kind of the activity, and we just said, hey, we know what you're planning. It's not going to happen here. Just want to let you know. And all of our volunteers, we went and stood in between these individuals, picked out the couple who were making the most noise, and dealt with them individually, and we moved them along. The police came shortly after. We didn't need them, but the police came shortly after and just kind of checked to make sure everything was okay, and they left without incident.
When you say you dealt with them, you're engaging them in conversation.
Yes.
You're not necessarily reprimanding them or just talking to them, listening?
Not necessarily. I mean, in some cases, yes, because we know some of the individuals who travel through from doing years of outreach. So with those individuals, it's possible to go to that next step. Well, let me just talk to you personally, and we can then speak to them based on the relationship we have. But if we don't know them, we're just giving them as positive of messages as we possibly can, and just talking about the realities of what could happen. So you get in this altercation, people get injured, or worse, there are weapons involved. Someone's on the ground. The police come and take you away.
It could be your best friend.
That's right.
It could be the end of your life as you know it.
That's right.
Whether you're dead or in prison or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just common sense type stuff.
And a lot of times in the heat of the moment, people don't think.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're just, little whispers in their ear just to kind of reinforce there is another way out. You don't have to go this way.
Good.
And they've listened.
What do you need at Connected? I know you're welcoming more volunteers. How are you? Do you have funding? I mean, obviously somebody's got to buy the T-shirts, and do you need donations? What do you need?
Yeah, up to now, everything that we've had has been donated. The Portland Police have been gracious and donated us shirts and things to wear. But I am trying to grow the organization because I want it to expand beyond just Holiday Park and certainly Portland proper. It can be used anywhere. So donations of clothing, if people have it, so that we can hand that out to people during inclement weather. Food donations, food vouchers, and that sort of thing. Funds, yes, we're working toward that, and we'll get there. but that's not my first priority.
Okay, good. Well, we're out of time, but if people want more information, they should go to your website or your Facebook page, either
Yes.
one, and they can get the information.
Yes.
Thank you so much, John, for being here today and telling us all about Connected.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to find out more about Connected, want to be a part of it, want to volunteer, like John said, you can go ahead and show up at 4:30 or 6:30?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, and you can walk with them and learn too and make a difference in your community. Thanks so much for being with us here on Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We'll see you next week.